And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 216 of Player Life. It is Friday, the 11th of February here in Tokyo, Japan. What is good? Um, it was weird. It was snowing yesterday in Tokyo. God damn. But today it's nice and sunny. Um, so it's all good. Gabriel E in the house. What's up, man? I'm thinking catfish territory. Talking about, yeah, what her dating profile really means. Um, Jason Ellen house. What's up? What is good? Um, catfishing. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I saw Richard Cooper, entrepreneurs and cars, do an episode on this. I thought it was an interesting topic. So you know, thought I'd talk about it. Even though I'm not such a obviously as I'm Mac the day gamer, I'm not the biggest fan of online dating because online dating usually sucks. For the most part, it's just yeah. There's it's a pretty competitive environment. Um, and you just I don't like it basically because I don't get as good as results as I get from day game. I mean, it's just that simple. That's it. Just boils down to which gets me better results, online dating or day game. I get hotter chicks, hotter younger chicks from day game. So that's basically why I'm not a huge fan of online dating. But it can work for some guys. I mean, it still can work for me, but it doesn't work as well, and that's frustrating. I don't like that. So I prefer to do cold approach. I prefer to meet girls in real life. It's just a better deal. Like it's a better deal. Um, know your worth in the house. What's up, man? What is good? Yeah, but I mean, I've done online dating. I've definitely done it, so I know a lot about it. I've seen it time and time again. The same patterns. It's fucking hilarious. It is really funny, man. It's really funny. Like, I don't know. I was just thinking, like, it's 2022. It's 2022. I really can't forgive guys that are still blue pilled like in 2022 when all the information we need is it's given to us. Like we're all one of the funny things about the internet is that and social media and everything and Instagram and women just they're telling on themselves. So if you're a blue pill man, like I just can't really comprehend how men cannot see see the truth, the reality of female nature of the way things really are. Because women tell us like, and it's not like they're meaning to tell us the truth. Like it's like, yeah, like if you ask a woman like what kind of guy that she wants, she's gonna list off all these like PC kind of you know all these socially acceptable things to say. Oh, he needs to be nice, he needs to be sweet, he needs to be caring, he needs to talk about be able to open up emotionally, all this cap, all this bullshit, all this garbage, right? Just because it's socially acceptable that this is what they think they have to say. But yeah, when they start using, you'll see the truth on social media, and like you'll catch them like slipping up. Like you'll that's what that's what females do. They'll mix in the truth, like when they're talking unknowingly, when they're kind of just like when they're not checking themselves. Basically, they'll slip out the truth here and there. But if they're conscious, if they're like trying to, if they're like in a certain situation where they know they should not, they should not tell the truth, they'll check themselves, and they'll say all the socially, the PC things. They won't say they want they want to get dicked down by the bad boy. That they want the exciting guy, you know, and yeah, it's kind of it's weird times we live in. It's weird. It's a weird, just a strange time because like it's just so different from how humans have evolved over millions of years. Like suddenly it's just the rules have changed. Like suddenly it's um I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's like it's almost like one-sided polygamy. One-sided as in females are the ones that basically, get to have basically kind of free reign or total sexual choice, and on the male side it's as hard as it ever. The funny thing is it seems as though like it's as easy as it ever was, like because we have all these dating apps. you know there's so many, there's so much social media, there's so many ways to access women. However, that means that it's like that has made it harder. That has actually made it harder for men because women have access to the top tier guys. Women have access to the like top percentage, like the top 10, 20%. We all know about female hypergamy, so they always shoot for the top. It's just like it's just like how men. It's like how men, like a man's ideal woman is like 21 years old, like no matter what age he is, like across the whole board, across the whole spectrum of age groups for men. It's like an ideal woman, the ideal age range for a man, uh is a girl that's it's 21. There's a reason the store is called Forever 21. And so but men, men will settle for a lot less, a lot. They'll settle for like, at the end of the day, men will punch, like they'll get what they can get, but women are different. Like they will, and it's how women will shoot for the top percentage of men all the time, no matter how average they are or below average. They'll try it. They'll punch up. They'll try and punch way up out of their league. Um, and this is yeah, this is why it's so polarized. This is why like it's hard for an average guy to be successful on a dating app. Very hard. Um, it's not going to be easy if you're an average guy. Like average won't cut it. Like if you're even above average, like if you're a 6 out of 10 guy, you're really gonna struggle. I'm talking in terms of looks. In terms of looks, if you're a 6 out of 10 guy, you're gonna really struggle on a dating app. Um, it's just that won't cut it for, because you're talking, you know because if you're a 6 out of 10 guy, you're going to be, because females are hypergamous, you're not going to be, it's going to be difficult for you to get with a 6 out of 10 girls. So basically you're like the maximum kind of girl that you can get from a dating app. If you're a 6 out of 10 guy, is a six, and that's if you're doing really well. So you're like, you basically, your 10 is a six, because if you're a six, this is kind of, this might sound stupid to some people, but this is the reality of it. Like, if it's gonna be a struggle. You definitely need to be above average to be quite, successful on a dating app. um and I mean, it varies from location to location and country to country. It's not, but we live in a globalized sexual marketplace, so it's like, yeah, it's just not a good, it's not a good way to source women if you're average in the looks department. And that's the cold hard truth, in my opinion. Like, there's ways to, like, there's ways to, like, make your profile better and things like that. But um yeah, it's still going to be kind of you're just going to be frustrated because you're not going to be getting with girls that you're just not going to, you're going to be struggling to match. And like, even if you match with some of these girls, it's going to be a struggle to get them on dates and stuff, just because the girls on these dating apps have access to, like, you know, better looking guys, to put it like, to put it bluntly. You know, it's like, it is based on looks, like, and females are very, very picky about it, you know, and they do get access. And that, one of the things is like, you know, guys, like, I've talked about this many times before, but guys, like, handsome, like, you know, good looking, successful guys, they will punch down, like, they will punch down just to get a, you know, a quick lay. And that's another reason why females are so deluded, and, you know, their sense of self-worth is so inflated, you know, in terms of looks, is because they're able to have sex with guys that are way out of their league. They are able, girls are able to match and hook up with guys that are way out of their league. But of course they're not able to, you know, they're not able to, like, you know, lock them in, like, you know, because, yeah, it's like there's just such a massive difference between dateability and bangability. Totally different things. But yeah, let me just share. Yeah, let me share something. Let me see. Yeah. So here's one. When she literally defines alpha fox, beta bucks in her profile. Jessica, 29, says, caught somewhere between seeking a tattooed bad boy to thrill me and a corporate America husband. Can't really spell. Can you give me the best of both worlds? Registers nurse, dog mama, wine. Okay. Um, you know, this is like, you know, it could be fake, but it's, I mean, I've seen profiles like this. Like, so it's not, you know, someone say, oh, that's, yeah, that could be fake. No, listen, I mean, I've come across profiles like this, so it's not like, even if this is fake or someone just made it, like, no, this is entirely believable. This is like, you know, this is what I mean by women literally, you know, telling on themselves. She's literally defining alpha fox, beta bucks in her profile. She's telling you, you know, that she wants the, you know, she wants the bad boy, but she also wants the security at the same time. Um, but in reality, what's happening is, like, she's 29. So what really happened was, she has just gotten ran through on dating apps, and probably in real life too, and night, you know, partying, and she's gotten ran through by chads and bad boys, you know, guys that she finds attractive. Um, you know, uh, I always like to reiterate that, like being handsome, being attractive doesn't, as a man, does not necessarily make you alpha by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. It just doesn't. So it's like, you know, um, I like to, you know, sometimes the terminology, but, you know, we all understand the terminology. We get it, but yeah, it's definitely not true that, like, you know, and you know, likewise, being alpha doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful with women. It just doesn't. Like, I know alpha guys that are not good with women. Um, you know, but yeah, so it's more about, you know, what they're attracted to. Um, yeah, some women are attracted to, like, feminine looking, like, you know, feminine, weak looking guys. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, let me see. Let me share the list with me. All right. So here's a list from Richard Cooper's stream. Um, yeah. So the first one. Let me see. I think there was more. There was ones earlier than that. Okay, yeah, the first one. Wild. Wild equals drinking drug problem. um, that is, you know, that is pretty. Yeah, I mean, if a girl says she's wild on her profile, I mean, she's telling you she's definitely not only telling you she likes to drink and party, but she definitely likes she's probably been ran through. Um that's for sure, you know. Um yeah, I mean, you're not gonna fucking take a girl that writes like wild on her dating profile for, a nice dinner date. Um what's the point? She's telling you she's already, done all kinds of wild shit. So, why would you be the one to take her on a, fancy little dinner date? Plus, you shouldn't be taking them on dinner dates anyway. Like on the first date, they haven't earned that yet. They just haven't earned that. Um, you know, like I've said this before, I'll say it again. Like, you buying a girl dinner is not going to make or break her decision to sleep with you. Like when girls come, like when they're coming on the date, they already kind of like some girls come on dates, right? And they have absolutely there's no intention of having sex. Zero intent, like they know they're not going to have sex. Like they're just not even they know that they're going to meet, they're going to like, use a guy to buy her dinner or like, and then she's going to bounce and that's going to be that. But some girls come on dates, it's a spectrum really. Some girls come on dates with like, maybe if I like him, if we get on well, if if he turns me on, so she puts on the nice panties, she puts on the nice underwear just in case, right? There's those girls. And then there's girls that go on dates that absolutely want to get banged. Like they're there to get banged, you know? And obviously it's nice to go on dates with those girls. Um, No, your word says I can do okay online, but in real life is by far much better for me. I think for most guys it is. But most guys don't really ever try. They don't try that much in real life. Um, and they try online and it just barely works for them, and then they give up. um, Iron says women date who they want to date, guys date who they can. That is that's yeah, that's true. I mean, that is true. Um, that guys. I mean, a lot of the time it's true. When I mean, I think well, it's not true that women date. It's not really true that women can date who they want to. It's that they can have sex with. Usually, a lot of the time, they can have sex with who they want to have sex with. Not all the time, but like a lot of way more than men. Like way more. Like women can basically, you know, if a woman wants to have sex with a guy, there's a high probability that she can make it happen. Like that's the difference. And if a man wants to have sex with a woman, there's by no means like it's not guaranteed by any means of the imagination, by any stretch of the imagination. It's like there's way higher chance of it not happening than it happening. That's like that's the difference. Like there's a huge difference. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean they can be in a relationship with them or date them. Men control relationships, women control sex. But yeah, a lot of guys do get into relationships with girls that are you know that are pretty, yeah, they might be punching down. um so yeah, that's the 39 equals 50. um I don't deal with those age groups on dating apps, so I'm not sure I'm not really too sure if chicks are, but yeah, I'm sure chicks lie about their age because but a woman lying about her age is far worse than a man lying about his age. Like it's really, it's so true that like a woman lying about her age, it's just totally different because a woman, a woman, uh, they have a biological clock. So if you're talking about a woman says she's 27 when she's in fact she's like 33, that's like fucked up because it's like if a guy wants to genuinely like if a guy is genuinely using these dating apps to find possibly meet someone to date, to have a relationship with, which I think most guys don't. Most guys just want to fuck. Primarily most guys want to fuck. Like guys don't use dating apps trying to like fucking you know um find relationships. That's why it's hilarious. That's why every fucking time a girl asks you, "Oh, what are you looking for?" It's hilarious because they know what you're fucking looking for. They actually know what you're looking for. Of course we're looking for sex. Every guy is. If he says he's not, he's fucking capping. He's a bullshitter. He's a liar. But you have to play these games with these girls because, but it's fun. It's always funny when they ask, "Oh, what are you looking for?" It's like, the truth is, I'm looking to fuck you. You don't really say it like that. Obviously, you can't say it like that, but that's the goddamn truth. That is the cold hard truth. Like straight up, you're looking to fuck. And then if you get on well, if you think she's cool, then you could possibly have a relationship, right? But when girls ask like questions like that's another sign actually. Like when girl asks you from a dating app, like what are you looking for? That's another sign that she's been ran through. That's another sign that she's already dealt with the bad boys. Now she's playing it extra safe, way too safe, off-puttingly safe. Because it's an unattractive thing to be asked like, "What are you looking for?" It's really unattractive. It's really unattractive as a man to be asked like, "What are you looking for?" Like, I think that turns off every guy. Like, I don't think any guy likes being asked that question, even if you're like a beta twerp. No guy likes that question because it's annoying. It's like I don't know you. Like I want to bang you. Like the reality, like it's annoying because we have to lie. It's like of course I want to bang you. Like that's why I'm a man. Like I'm using a dating app. Like I want to bang, but and that's why I fucking hate that question from chicks, man. It's like it pisses me off because deep down, but yeah, like understand that when they do ask that question, usually it's a sign that they've been ran through and that they're playing it too safe, to their detriment because yeah, it's an off-putting. Um, so yeah, women. I'm sure women lie about their age, but I'm not dealing with those age groups to be honest. So um, I don't think the girls I would be going after are lying about their age. I don't think girls in their 20s probably don't lie about their age, but I think after like in their 30s maybe so, but I'm not looking to deal with those age groups, so can't really comment too much on that. But we have don't waste my time. Alpha widowed several times. Yeah, don't waste my time is like another sign. Um and yeah, don't waste my time is that absolutely another sign that she's been dicked down. Like, and this you won't really hear these kind of you won't really hear this from girls in their early 20s. Won't write stuff like this. You know, they won't write like we're talking. Let's say before 24, you won't have girls writing "Don't waste my time" on dating apps because they're in the middle of just getting dicked the fuck down by alpha guys or good looking guys. Have to redefine that because it is true. Like yeah, like I said, it doesn't just being good looking and being a handsome man does not necessarily make you alpha. Like it just doesn't. But yeah, so girls are going around on these dating apps getting fucked by guys that they find attractive, handsome guys in their early 20s, like, and they're not really thinking about having their time wasted. They're just wasting they are wasting their time. Like The tragic thing is these girls don't even realize. Most of these girls don't even realize the power that they have. They don't understand that, like, their ability to lock down like a really high value man, and, like, lock him down and have him as a husband, is at its highest when she's like 21. It's at its high, it's at her highest when she's 21. Because she's her best looking. She can attract the best looking guys, or the most successful guys. Um, all three: money, muscles, game, frame guys. All the she that's because that's what men care about. Obviously we care. Obviously there needs to be more substance to that, but initially that's how they're going to attract them, by looks. If she's a complete fucking bitch, obviously, it's not gonna be her looks. He'll pump and dump her, but she needs to have more than just looks. She needs to have some substance. She needs to be pleasant, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, girls usually just, they're oblivious to it. They waste it. They just completely waste it. um I always think it's tragic as well. And you know like, I remember when I was in college, I went to art college, so there were some hot girls, but I always thought they were like they kind of wasted their potential, because they dressed down, like, they never really like they never really embraced, like, their femininity. They never like, they never dressed up. They never. And then, they're it's gone in a flash. Like, those the their beauty, like their peak beauty years, it's gone. Like, and they kind of missed the boat. And then it's funny, then, like, in their late 20s, you see them kind of trying to, like, making up for, not embracing their best years by, like, dressing, like, very provocatively and sexy, which they never did at their very peak. Like, I don't know. I just That's kind of a side note, but um, yeah, don't waste my time equals alpha widow. That's for sure. They've been pump and dump too many times. Um, about average. About talking about weight, I guess. 40 pounds overweight. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't notice girls talking too much about their weight on dating apps. I haven't seen that one too much. Um, love to travel equals looking for a dude to take me on trips. Um, yeah, that's obviously, in the past 2 years. That's this kind of loving to travel thing has died down a good bit, because it's so much harder to travel now, um, with all the restrictions and all all the bullshit you have to go through. But yeah, girls that say they've done a bunch of traveling means that they've sucked a bunch of dicks in a bunch of countries as well. you know, um, it depends on the kind of girl too, but depend. Like, some girls, honestly, like, they're like, some girls definitely know their worth. They know how hot they are, and they do actually milk it, like, really much so. Like, I've seen, and you can see that. I've seen it on Instagram, and sometimes I'm honestly, like, kind of impressed, actually, like, by some of these hoes. Like, I'm impressed by their I'm impressed how they leverage their looks at such a young age. Like, I mean, I've seen a few Japanese, like, more than a few, but, like, Japanese girls, like, yeah, like, very, like, 21, 20, 21, and they were like, and there's, like, they're talking, like, very, very hot girls, but they they were flying around the world even during the coronavirus. Yeah, during the fucking, the beer bug scamdemic. But they were fucking flying over to Mexico and Dubai and all this shit. Yeah, they're holding themselves out. Don't get it. They definitely are. But like, it's like, wow, okay, well, at least they're kind of like they're kind of getting after it. They're kind of like, they're kind of, embracing their best years, because a lot of women actually don't, like, they take it for granted. Like, a lot of hot girls actually, they do really like miss the boat completely, because it happens so fast. They think it's going to last forever, because they're constantly propped up by society. That society tells them that they're queens, they're boss bitches, they're always going to be hot. Age doesn't mean anything. Society just lies to these women consistently, like constantly, and it doesn't help them out in the long run. In the long run, it's really terrible for them, because they end up like, yeah, they miss the marriage boat, they miss the baby boat. Yeah, and that's permanent. Like, that's for eternity. Like, once a chick misses the baby boat, that's eternity. Like, you cannot reproduce. You cannot do what you were, like, basically were evolved to do over millions of years, like your primary purpose. Like, you know, I always say that, like, a woman not giving birth is like a man never having sex. Like, that's a good way to. And I would say a woman not giving birth is like probably a lot more, probably even more traumatic. Like, a man never having, a straight male never having sex is traumatic as hell. Like, that's like, it would be such a painful existence as a man, like, to be celibate, like, and never have sex. Like, but, and to be around women and be constantly tormented by it. But I'd say, like, that the equivalent to that is a woman. For a woman is for her to never, like, experience giving birth or never have a family. I would honestly say that's a pretty reasonable comparison. But yeah. So, independent equals you will decide nothing. Yeah, independent usually means she's annoying. She's like a boss bitch. Yeah, it's kind of like annoying. Tries to call the shots on everything. Confrontational. Stuff like that. Like, why would you write independent? I'm independent. Like, it's like, what are you trying to show off? Like, you're independent. Like, I mean, yeah, it basically means she's fucking she's a boss bitch and annoying. um you know Probably, yeah, you're not really gonna want to be around that. um uh I had a girl, I mean, yeah, you don't want to be independent. Basically means she's confrontational. And she's gonna have problems with your suggestions. She's gonna be like, you'll suggest, hey, you want to meet for coffee and such and such, and she'd be like, oh, why do you want to meet there? Oh, like, why don't we meet here? And it's just like, everything will be a problem with a girl that's like independent. um see, no hookups. I like this one. No hookups equals definitely hooks up if you are Chad. This one is very fucking true, like unbelievably true. When they say no hookups, that's another uh sign that she's hooked up a lot, like, from these dating apps. Like, she's already hooked up with a lot of guys from the dating apps, and she's kind of like, she's getting wary of it. She wants the boyfriend. But yeah, it's the irony of it is, like, a lot of the girls that I hooked up with from dating apps have, wrote things like, no ONS, one night stands, no hookups. Like, it's just hilarious. Like, it's so funny, because it's like, it doesn't mean that you can't fuck them. It doesn't mean that you can't fuck them. Like, it really does not. It really doesn't. It does not mean that you cannot fuck them. um yeah, it's just watch what women do. Like, a lot of the time, women, like, you just can't trust what they say. Like, what they say, really, it's like, it's just observe their behavior. if you can find out the truth, if you knew the truth about these females, if you knew what they really got up to, like instead of like this stuff that they say, you would be shocked. You would be really shocked. You would be very shocked even about these some of these so-called nice girls, some of these so-called, oh, she's so sweet. She would never deliver herself to a Chad's house. She wouldn't, she's not that type of girl. Fucking hell, you've no idea what these girls will do. They will, like, and they'll keep that shit. They'll keep that close to their, the truth close to their chest. You know, the stuff that they've done. And but it can be revealed. I've done my research. Usually over the years, I've done my research. Like, you know, I mean, one of the ways I get the truth out of females is like I'll kind of like I'll kind of tell them, if it's a hookup scenario where we've just hooked up, I'll tell them about my lifestyle. I'll tell them like it might be something like, first of all, I'll ask them, have you hooked up much from these apps, or do you do this often? And of course, like, all girls, if you ask a question like that, they'll all say, oh no, no, like, no, I haven't had sex in months. Like, I think the last time I had sex was my boyfriend. That's the kind of answer you're going to get if you ask a question like that. They'll deny it. Like, they'll say, like, no, 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 I don't really use this dating app. I haven't met many guys. But then she'll then say, oh, like, how about you? Have you hooked up? Like, have you been, have you met many girls? And then I'll say something like, yeah, I mean, I met a girl like last week. And she'd be like, oh, really? And she'd be like, did you have sex? And I'll be like, oh yeah, we fucked. She'd be like, what? Oh my god, oh my god. And then she realizes, like, okay, you're not like boyfriend material. And then you'll ask her again, so when's the last time you really hooked up? And then she'll be like, oh well, and then sometimes, a lot of the time, it'll be like they hooked up last week themselves as well. So like they'll literally just like they'll literally tell you that they were lying. They'll literally just tell you that they were straight up lying. And that's how you find the truth. You find the truth by kind of crushing their idea that you could be some kind of boyfriend material, like, and you kind of tell them the truth about your lifestyle, and then they realize they have nothing to lose, so they'll tell you the truth. And like I said, I've done my research. Like, I've done my research. A lot of guys wouldn't ask questions like that because they want to, like, they're afraid of losing them, or they're afraid of, like, oh, she's gonna know I'm a player and she's not gonna want to meet me. And they'd be right a lot of the time, because once the girl knows that you're a player, once a girl that knows that you fuck a lot of girls, most of them will fall off. If you want to keep a girl around, I wouldn't be so direct. I wouldn't be so direct asking questions like that at the start. Um, because then they're gonna be like, okay, he's just a player. He's just fucking. Some of them will stay, but like, if they know, like, if the sex is good, and they know that it's just a sex, you're just a friend with benefits. Some of them will stay. But I will say, like, yeah, if you really want to keep these girls on the hook, you want to keep them around, I would avoid asking questions like that. But I do it just to, like, I wanted to do my research. I always love finding the truth out, like the truth out about these chicks. um because, like, what they tell you is, like, completely different from the reality. Like, very, very different. Like, you wouldn't believe, like I said, you wouldn't believe what these girls get up to, behind closed doors. All these so-called, like, sweet innocent girls, naughty little bitches, like, swear to god, like, naughty, bad, like, man, they've been around to bad, like, dude, the things I've seen, like, um to look at them, you think, oh no, she looks so innocent, she looks so nice and sweet. And then you find out that she was, like, she, like, delivered herself to some Chad's house and just got, like, raw dogged. She had to get the morning after pill, but she didn't even ask him to wear a condom because, she just, like, she was so turned on by him. Yeah, that's the kind of shit, like, that's the kind of shit some of these girls will do. um you know and when they're ready to find their nice little beta boyfriend, She'll never tell him that. He'll have to take her on 3 4 dates before getting to third base, to getting the home run, you know getting ripped off basically. That's the thing that I can't tolerate. I just cannot tolerate, like, as a man, I can't tolerate getting ripped off. I don't want to get a bad deal. So that's like, the older a girl gets, the more you're kind of getting ripped off. Because the funny thing about women is, the older they get, like, and they're, as in our eyes, their value decreases in the sexual marketplace. It does. Like, I mean, that's a fact. Their value decreases. It just does. Like, they're, the older, but their price increases. They increase the price of access basically. So these girls, when they're like 21, if you're a hot chad, 18, yeah, these young hot as fuck girls, if you're hot, if they're attracted to you, if they like your profile, they'll fucking, meet you and suck your dick on the first date. They'll let you raw dog, all that kind of shit. But then when she's 27, she she might still let Chad do that, but she's also looking for the relationship. So this is the conflict, right? This is when the conflict arises. But she'll go on dates with these, like, guys that are somewhere in the middle. But these guys somewhere in the middle, he might be kind of cool, but he has a good job and stuff. She's not gonna let him smash on the first date. So he's already getting ripped off because he's going on dates. He's wanting to fuck. Like, he's thinking, maybe, yeah, maybe I could. There's a lot of guys out there that are kind of on the fence. They're like, oh yeah, maybe I could have a relationship if she's cool, but he's not necessarily looking for a relationship. But he could have a relationship. He's open to the idea of having a relationship if he likes her, and but that's like secondary. He's completely just looking for sex. Like, that's the thing he's out there looking for. You know, um, but yeah, he'll get ripped off. These kind of guys that are in the middle, kind of, he'll be like, he'll have to do the 3 or 4 dates before he has sex. But for me, I don't, because I know the deal, I know the score. I'm not getting ripped off. Um, Dan in Tokyo says, "How you screen for that if you are actually looking for a girlfriend? Um, how do you screen for what? I mean, how do you screen for hoishness? I mean, the reality is, I mean, depending on her age, man, depends on her age. Um, like, if she's 27 and she's single, you have to find out, like, has she been in long term relationships? Has she been just hoeing herself out? Um, you know, that's how you screen for that. You just ask them, like, when was their last relate, or you could ask her what was her longest relationship. You know, and if she didn't have that many long relationships, or she's had very few boyfriends, but she's still hot, understand that she's probably a hoe. She's had a lot of dick. So that's a way to screen for that. You could ask them, when's the last time they had a relationship, stuff like that. How long was it? Um, yeah. So yeah, get me off this app. Equals I've been with a lot of guys. Yeah, I mean, that's another one. Most of these are like, telltale signs that they've just been with a lot of guys. They'll out themselves. They'll say things like, "I'm tired of using this app. I'm getting bored. Why can't I find a nice guy?" They'll say things like that, and that means, like, that they've been with all the bad boys that, like, absolutely blew her back out. Had great sex, but would never didn't want to touch her with a barge pole, as in didn't want to touch her, have a relationship with her. Um, you know, um, by the but the thing is, like, I think girls, like, get it. It's a bit of a balancing act. You know, like, because the times that I had a relationship with girls, I've had haven't had that many uh serious relationships that I would call serious. But I mean, I have had. But the times that I did have like a serious relationship, or like a girlfriend that I would call a girlfriend, um I banged those girls on the first night. So I think girls like can sometimes shoot themselves in the foot by not putting out because it's like it maybe can annoy you guys. So I think with the right guy, you know, the girls should put, like, if they like him and he's they shouldn't make him wait, because if a girl makes a guy wait just for the sake of making him wait, sometimes that guy will be like, fuck this hoe, like I know she's put out for other guys, so like she's kind of ripping me off here. I kind of like, she might be cool, you might think you might get on with her, but if she doesn't put out, you'd be like, fuck this, so I'm gonna like pump and dump her if she makes me wait, because like girls can, like, play it too safe sometimes, you know. Um, so I don't think girls should necessarily make guys wait, like if they think he's the right guy. For that could be, I guess girls have to do their own screening as well. So like they have to screen for a guy that they have to screen for guys like me, because like I'm the guy that's gonna pump and dump them kind of shit. I'm not gonna be boyfriend material. So like I'm just being fully like transparent about that. But you know, um, as guys, we have to do our screening, and then we have to screen for like, is she gonna waste my time? Is she gonna like try and rip me off? You know, um, and then on their side, they're like, is this guy just gonna try and pump me? Is he just gonna dump me? Like, is he just gonna have me as a sex friend? So like, it's this like, both have kind of contradicting goals, um, and it's kind of funny. Um, Dan in Tokyo says dudes tend to get cucked 9 times out of 10. Indeed, indeed. I mean, the cuckery that goes on in this world is insane. It's a one-sided polygamy. Um, One-sided, man. There's like it's open. It's an open relationship on the girl's side, and it's not on the guy's side. Like I haven't told this story, I don't think, but I was in a bar. I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last Thursday night. Um, and anyway, there was this. I might have told this story, but I'll tell it again. So there was this dude, dancing with. Well, first of all, I noticed this Japanese guy and a Japanese girl. They're sitting down having a drink, right? And then this dude, he was I'm not sure where he's from. I think he was African, somewhere in Africa, black dude. But he was posted up beside the couple, and and the girl was giving him a lot of IOIs. I just noticed this. I was just kind of observing it, what was going on. She gave him some IOIs, and then the dude was like way more jacked than the Japanese guy. The Japanese guy looked beta as hell, like, and the girl was like cooking. Like, if I was in a relationship with a girl, even if I was not even if I wasn't in a relationship, even if I was just out on a date with a girl and she was behaving like this, she was literally smiling at this African guy, looking him up and down. And of course he just opened her and started talking to her, like, while her boyfriend was sitting there. And yeah, eventually the guy he started like, they started dancing. Like, he took her hand and he started dancing, and it led to her, like, kind of grinding on his crotch. Like, I swear to God, she's turned around, she's like grinding her ass on his crotch, and she's a pretty hot girl. And the guys just sat there looking super concerned. And at this point, I didn't know. I thought maybe it was her. It could have been her friend. It would have still been bad because it's like disrespectful, interrupting a couple kind of having a drink. But yeah, so I was also kind of standing there, so I just asked the guy, is that your girlfriend, man? Is that your chick? He was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, what the fuck? And while I'm asking him this, like, like, she's grinding her ass on his crotch, on the black guy's crotch, and this is just happening in front of him, and he looked Like the guy looked devastated, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of I was like, you are you cool with that? And he was like, he said, oh, it's, they're just dancing. They're just dancing. It's such a cult, man. Oh my god. Like I just, man, one-sided polygamy, man. It's just like literally getting cooked like before me. Like I just couldn't really comprehend it. It was just amazing. But I'm not even surprised anymore. I'm just not even. It doesn't even surprise me. It's just like wow. Like I can't even comprehend putting myself in that situation. Couldn't live with myself. Imagine that. Um. Yeah. Let's get back to this. So my son Aiden is my world equals you will be an ATM and pay for him again. Um. Yeah, I don't deal with like single moms on dating apps. I mean, there are some. If a woman talks about her offspring, you know, that's a red flag because as a man, you don't want to deal with that. I mean, if it's not that you can't, you can dabble in it with a woman that has a child. Like you can bang her, but it has to be just friends with benefit. It just has to be a pump and dump, like, or friends with benefits at the very most. You cannot get into any don't get into any don't ever get into any kind of relationship with a woman that has a child that's not yours. Like it's a bad deal. Why would you do it? It just what are you doing? Like what are you doing with your life if you're dealing with a woman that has children with other men? You're literally the definition of a cuckold. So don't do that. I mean, there's maybe some outliers, but if in certain circumstances, but yeah, in general, I wouldn't do it. Um, yeah, it's just not a good investment. Um, beautiful eyes equals fat. Yeah, I mean, girls that girls that talk about how beautiful they are. I mean, they're probably not that beautiful. If they're talking about how beautiful. I mean, like it's like I mean, yeah. I mean, girls that are genuinely hot and beautiful don't need to say, "Oh, I've beautiful eyes." It's like, yeah. I mean, plus eyes aren't going to give you a boner. Like I've never gotten a boner from a woman's eyes. Um, I mean, it's aesthetics. It's nice. It's nice if a woman has nice eyes, but they're not gonna arouse you. I don't know any guys that have an eye fetish. Does anyone here have an eye fetish? I certainly don't. I mean, of course, like if a woman has nice eyes, it's nice, but it's not like it doesn't arouse you. So uh yeah. Um Here's this one. Foodie equals doesn't cook and demands fancy restaurants you pay for. Yeah, foodie is a red flag. Foodie is a red flag. Um it means they want to go to nice restaurants and have you pay for it. And yeah, it's happened to me a few times where like you know I've even day game girls, and it's like I remember the most recent one was like I was trying to get her to come to my area, and she said, "Where are we gonna go? What are we doing?" I was like, "Oh, I know this nice place," and she was like, "Well, what's the name of it?" And I sent her the name. I sent her the Google pin, and she was like, "Oh, I'm a real foodie, and I've never heard of this place, so maybe we should go somewhere else." And I was like, "Well, that's that." Yeah, but I just don't. You can deal with them. You just have to like don't fall into their frame. Don't ever fall into their frame. Don't like allow them to like call the shots. Don't ever allow a girl to choose the location. Don't allow it. Like if you're going on a first date, don't allow her to choose the spot. Like it's a bad. You're falling into her frame. It's bad. But the girls that call themselves foodies, these are the ones that will do that. They will like they'll try and take you to a fancy like expensive restaurant that they want to eat at, and yeah, it's not going to be good. You're beta bucks at that point. Um, let's see. Yeah, athletic equals flat chested. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I don't you have when a lot of girls yeah, a lot of girls in Japan, I don't think they really usually describe themselves like this, but maybe it's more of a Western thing. But yeah, maybe can't really comment on this one too much, um, because I don't think I've come across a girl saying that she's been athletic on a dating app. Ready to settle equals banged every alpha and wants a beta provider now. Yeah, I've seen that one, or along the lines, ready to settle, take me off this app, it's like, of course they're ready to settle if they're like, over 30. Of course it's only when they're, young, really young and like, and super hot and really hot. That's when you have girls talk about, I don't need no man. I don't want no, I, I never want to have kids and none of this shit. Um, but it's like they're only saying that is because they think their beauty and the attention that they get is going to last forever. It doesn't last forever. They'll get attention for sex, but like really, like when a woman is really, most able to lock a guy down when she's like, young and hot. Because guys will be like, okay, she's giving me her best, and if she's a good personality, they can grow, develop a bond with her, fall in love, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? But you know, when how are you gonna like commit yourself to a woman that's like isn't giving you her best? Like how are you gonna do it? Like that she's been ran through. If a woman is 30 years old, she's so many guys have gotten in there before you, and they've gotten her at way better and for cheaper price. They've had to, and when I say price, I'm talking about time and effort. It's not necessarily money. Like it's like that. Like when she was 21 years old, she was putting out like with Chad on the first date, but when she's 30 years old, you have to do all this bullshit that spans out over a month before you get laid, and that's just like fucking that's a bad deal, man. It's just a bad deal. Like when you don't smash on the first date, you're dragging shit out. Like it's almost you have to almost smash on the first date if a girl is like, um, you know, it's just always better to smash on the first date because if you don't, you're getting ripped off. Um, the only time, like, you know, maybe if a girl is like 21 and she really hasn't been with that many guys, um, like if she's 21, she's only maybe had one boyfriend, she's been with maybe two or three guys, then maybe then you can understand maybe why she wouldn't want to smash on the first date. Like when she's really, she might genuinely be like, not have that much experience, like, and then she's like not gonna want to smash on the first date. But like Dan and Tucker says no point taking girls over 24 serious. I pretty much agree. Like I mean, a woman is a jewel when she's like 21. That's when she's a valuable. She is valuable. She does have a high. She's a valuable asset. Because the reason a woman is so valuable at 21 is because it's so like it's fleeting. Like it's that like that beauty like it comes and goes. That's why it's valuable. You can't pause it. It can't remain. It can't hold its value. So that's why girls at their peak, that's why they have a lot of sway and a lot of power, but a lot of them just, squander it. Like, it's over before they even realize it. And some of the really hot girls are very butthurt about it, and they're very they don't like to accept that it's over, and they become really bitchy. They become real bitchy. I mean, the thing is, like, when you start off in a relationship with a woman, like the relationship should be just like it should just be it should basically it should be like it's like the honeymoon period where you're not talking about what do you want and or what are we and all this bullshit. It should just be about the banging. Like you should just be not have to like you shouldn't be dealing with messages like, oh, you just want me, you hit a girl up that you banged, right? You hooked up with her, and and then you want to meet her again, and she writes back, oh, I want to meet you, but I think you just want me for sex. If those messages come out like right at the start, it, you're you're wasting your time. Like it shouldn't be like that. Like if you're genuinely like there's a possibility of dating a girl, of like being in a relationship with her, it should just be like the two of you and her are just like fucking, like just every time you just fuck, like you have a good time, you get on well, like she's not like putting up all these barriers to sex. It should just be like this like where you're drawn to each other, where you just want to fuck the shit out of each other, um and then you could develop a relationship from that. But a lot of girls get it twisted and like think that, oh, the sex comes after. No, if there's no passion at the start, fuck, you're the sex, like, man, if there's no passion, if there's no crazy honeymoon period where it's like just you're just fucking the hell out of each other, imagine how bad it's going to be if you do get in a relationship. There's going to be fuck all sex, because that's what happens, like, really, like in a relationship, like at the start, like it doesn't get better. Like, I mean, when you're like maybe when you first start having sex, right, when you're like really young, like when you're whatever, 18, 19, whenever you lost your virginity, like when you're having sex, then maybe it's like, okay, you get in a relationship with a girl, and like maybe the sex is bad because you don't have much experience, and you're not like, you don't really know what you like as a guy either. You're like, basically what you like, but you're probably not that good at sex. And then maybe it gets better. You start to get better at sex, but once you turn into a man and you understand sex and you get good at it, it's pretty much like when you first start having sex, it's like 100%. Like the sex is amazing. Like, and kind of like it might stay at 100% for the first while, and then it'll gradually, your attraction to her will gradually it's sad, but it's true, like it'll gradually get less and less. So like it doesn't work that way, like where, like, girls put up all these barriers to sex, and then it suddenly just gets better. No, like if you're going to be dating a girl, it should be all about the sex at the start. um uh Dan says, make him wait, then he will stay. I mean, that's their logic, but I mean, if you make them wait too long, if you make a guy wait too long, and then he feels like he got ripped off, and he's just gonna, like, once he gets what he wants, he's gonna bounce out because fucking he'll be salty about getting made to get weight, when he knows deep down, he knows subconsciously, even if he's not, even blue pill guys will do this, even if he knows subconsciously that she put out to all these other guys and made him wait, that'll cut deep. um Boss girl, disagreeable, annoying, again with the kind of independent kind of vibe. Yeah, you don't want to be dealing, if a girl calls herself boss girl, come on, like you can't be dealing with that. um Definitely not. It's probably more of an American Western girl thing. Definitely don't notice girls writing that, but I'm sure as American audience will have come across things like that. Alpha woman, bossy as fuck. There's no such thing as an alpha woman, by the way. An alpha woman is just like a shitty man. It's just like it's a shitty man, kind of. Yeah. Um, you know, alpha woman. Yeah. Yeah. Men and women are different. Like, there's no, like, it's just like if you try and compare them, we're not equal. We're not the same. So, like, I know libtards will get like incredibly, but if like a liberal came across me saying that, if I said to a liberal, like, men and women are not equal, like they think I'm literally, you're literally Hitler. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're fucking, you know. But we're not. It's not a controversial. I don't think it's a controversial thing to say. It's just like it's obvious. It's like we're not. Like we're different. You know. Um, it's like saying an apple equals an orange. No, it doesn't. They're two different things. Like they're not the same. Like what do you mean they're equal? They're not equal. They're like different. They're completely different, and it's a different organism. Um, Adventurous equals hoe. Most likely, most likely. Adventurous. Yeah, I mean, uh, probably. Yeah, unless they're talking about liking to do hikes and stuff. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm not really attracted to girls that like to go on hikes and stuff. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. Another sign that a girl is like ready to settle down is when suddenly she's 29 and suddenly she starts liking to do hiking and do all this wholesome shit like baking and stuff. And it's like, bitch, like, I mean, you know, it's not that those things are bad, but it's like it's not very like it's also not very. It doesn't like I don't get attracted. I basically like have zero attraction when a girl has a photo of herself like hiking. Like a lot of these, and it's like you didn't have photos like that when you were 21. You had like sexy little. You were wearing a sexy little dress, and you were like It's like why are you giving me all this boring shit? Like seriously, why am I getting the dull shit? Like, give me the hot. I want the hot stuff. I want to see you in the little dress too. I don't want to, see you all like wearing all this North Face, Columbia, like baggy hiking gear. You know what I mean? It's zero attraction. Like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't care if you like hiking. I mean, really not that. Like, it's really not that attractive. It's not a good selling point. But it's a thing I've noticed. Like it's a thing when girls hit the epiphany phase, funnily enough, they make themselves less attractive. It's weird, man. It's like they're trying to lock down a guy. They're at a point where they're desperate to lock down a guy, so they make themselves look more boring and less sexually appealing. Female logic is mess. Some girls need a lot of help, and like there's a market out there to help women, but women are so strong headed that the modern women are so strong headed that they refuse to take advice from a man. I'm not taking advice from a man. Oh my god, it's so patriarchal. But you know, they want to lock down a guy, but they have all this. Their approach to it is like garbage. They don't know what they're doing. Um, you know, yeah. So I know my worth because I think I'm a queen. This is like inflated sense of ego, like this crazy inflated sense of ego is just um yeah, girls that kind of write those kind of things, or you're just gonna be dealing with an annoying girl. Like she's gonna be straight up like annoying. Um some of them will write, a lot of them will actually write that they're a queen as well. Avoid, you can pump and dump them, but yeah, girls that say they're a queen and that they know their worth and all that stuff. It's like what the fuck? Like just like an inflated sense of ego. Not yeah, you're obviously not gonna want to date a girl like that. Like how the fuck would you want to date a girl that calls herself a queen? It's like bitch, like shut the fuck up. Um Bubbly, won't stop talking. I don't mind if they I don't mind when they talk actually, because on a date, obviously when we're talking about relationships, that's different. But there needs to be more of a. But when we're talking about a dating scenario, um, I've come to the conclusion that when a woman when a woman opens up and tells you about herself and her life and her experiences and her family and stuff, that's a sign that she actually likes you. Actually, um, you know, because she's opening up like that, and and women are not. We all know women are solipsistic, aka narcissistic, and they do think about themselves. So even when they do like you, they'll still think about themselves. You know, like, I mean, there's one example. I mean, I know I there's this girl I followed on Instagram, and even when, like, she used to do this thing where she'd post selfies of herself. She'd post a selfie of herself, and she had a boyfriend, right? She'd post selfies of herself and write a caption like, "Oh, I miss him so much," and like, it wouldn't be a photo of him; it would be a photo of herself. It's just that, but that for me really summed up like kind of female nature. It was like a photo of herself, like, and she would do this a lot, but it was just funny. It was, she'd post the photos and, oh my god, I miss him so much, but she wouldn't tag him, she wouldn't write his name, she wouldn't post a photo of him. There was no photos of him on her feed. But I knew she had a boyfriend. But that really, for me, summed up like the female psychology. They really do, like, they really do put themselves. They really are thinking about themselves. Like, it's about them. So yeah, but like, and ironically, interestingly enough, I've noticed, like, if a girl is asking me too many questions, um, I noticed that, like, it's a sign that they're not actually not that into me, because it's kind of like they're trying to confirm. Oh, they're trying to like pry. It's kind of like an interview vibe. So I usually, my ideal when I'm dealing with girls on dates, it's usually me kind of like feeding them kind of questions, letting them talk, letting them tell me. And I don't really want to talk about myself. I don't really want to talk about don't want to have to tell her about what I do, because it's like, if she I'm gonna have to, like, I can't really tell her, right? Can't really tell her what I do like too straight up, because it's like it's too degenerate, right? Can't do that. It's gonna There's too many. Yeah, I mean, she's gonna figure out if I told her the truth. If I told her what I do, like, so what do you do? Oh yeah, smash this girl on Tuesday, or I do this YouTube channel. I can't really tell her, but yeah. So I don't mind. It suits me down to the ground when they talk, and ironically, the thing is that it's a sign that they actually like you when they open up and talk about themselves. Because I don't particularly like having to talk about my life to it and tell her about my what I do. Um, doesn't bother me. Uh, Financially independent equals getting alimony and child support. Could be the case. Could be the case. But I mean, there's probably so much more. There's probably so many more, like, red flags, womanese. Yeah, but uh, yeah. But anyway, that's watch out for these red flags, these, on dating apps. I mean, you can have red flags, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay away from them. But it just means, it's like, understand what you're getting into. um yeah. But I mean, in general, if a girl has been on a dating app for any period of time, it generally means that she's a hoe. Like, that's what it generally means. um like, a year, man. I mean, like, the potential, like, the amount of dick that a woman could go through if she was on a dating app for a year, it's like, you wouldn't be able to believe it. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they they maximize the potential, but it certainly means that they definitely have had some experiences. You know if a girl tells you, if you go on a date and you ask a girl, so have you been on many dates from dating apps, and she says, yeah, I've been on a few dates. That means she's gotten dick down more than a few times, right? If she tells you that she's been on a few dates from dating apps, and that means that she's had some experiences. um Dan in Tokyo says, I've seen girls stay on days for like 3 or 4 years. Maybe you mean on date. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, some girls stay on dating apps. Yeah. Some girls, I mean, stay on them for years. So, like, I mean, they're for the streets. Like, if they're on dating apps they're pretty much for the streets. ideally, like if you're looking for wifey material, if you're if you're a guy and you wouldn't mind getting into a relationship and having a wife and all that, you want to find a girl that hasn't used a dating app. Like they are out there, they're hard to find, but because most girls will have at least downloaded one and kind of used it, but some girls genuinely don't use them. You can find them in Japan. You can find girls that don't use dating apps in Japan. But in Western countries, oh, that's gonna be a tough ask, man. That's gonna be a tough ask. I just don't know. But yeah, man. Dating apps are kind of trash, but they can work. But I'm Mac the day gamer, so I like to. I just don't think that you get the best bang for your buck on a dating app. Real life cold approach is really how you really get hot girls. Like if you're an average looking guy, um, you're not going to be pleased with your results if in general if you're average in the looks department from dating apps. It's going to be an uphill. It's going to be an uphill struggle all the time. But yeah, if you're sick of dating apps, just start doing cold approach, man. It's the best way to do it. Um, so yeah, check out, smash the like button, comment, subscribe. The algorithm fucking hates my content. It's definitely getting suppressed. It's definitely like attacked. Um, Dan in Tokyo says, "Do you have any coaching program?" Indeed, I do, man. Go on to if you're interested, go on to my website. Check out the. You can join the subscription service, or I do private one-on-one. Game coaching. So you can check that out on my website. Link in the description. Can definitely help level up your cold approach, your day game. Maybe you've never done day game before, you want to try it out. It's definitely the best way to do it. Like seriously, it really is. Like cold approach is like 100% like the best way to pick up, like get the hottest girls. Like there's no other way. Like dating apps, complete uphill struggle. Like you're gonna get ripped off. You're basically gonna get ripped off as a guy on a dating app. Unless you're a very attractive guy, you're gonna get ripped off. You're not gonna get your worth. You're not gonna get what you really deserve. In a nightclub, it's better than the nightclubs are. I would say probably maybe better than a dating app, but still you're dealing with girls that are like, you know, um, have a high guard. Like there's all these other cock blocking factors. She's with her friends. There's all kinds of shit. You can work. Nightlife can work, but I would say nightlife is probably better than dating apps. You can get, but the best like day game is just like cold approach is just like so many levels like above. Like you can literally punch up. Like you can actually mess with hyper. Like you can punch up as a guy from day game. So if you're interested in the coaching program, hit me up, man. And Ali Bad Elisi says, your channel is underrated. I've been to Tokyo 4 times. Your observations are on point. Great job, mate. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, today's Friday. So, have a good weekend, guys. Catch you on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, peace out, guys. Bye bye.